Hello my friends, how are you today? I wanted to do this video because part of my previous post was showing how I actually bought some new paper, some new watercolor paper that is black, and I quite like it. I like working with it. So today I was thinking about doing a sort of a branch, like a pine branch, and with maybe a few little hollies, and maybe a pine cone, kind of like looking from up down. And we'll see, maybe we'll do a couple of branches or one branch, maybe like even like a candle. I don't know. We'll see. Whatever, wherever inspires me as we go. But if any of you want to know, I'm actually going to probably be using this 8. It's a 8 number brush. It's actually from Opus. It's Galiano. I quite like this brush. It holds a lot of pigment, it holds a lot of water, and beautiful. It keeps the shape pointy, as you can see. Beautiful pointy edge, which you kind of need when you want to do a little bit more detailed work. And I will also be working with the same one, which is the number 10. So I like to use these two quite often. Actually, they're synthetic and very nice to use. So this is what I'm going to be using. And okay, so let's start. So I also have some little Christmas music on the background, just for, you know, getting ourselves in the mood of Christmas and the holidays. So I'm mixing a little bit of a brown here, which is the burnt umber that I like to use. This is actually from Cotman, and all my other paints are from either Daniel Smith or Windsor, depending on which color it is. I really like to use both. They both are really good brands, depending on what you prefer. Some people prefer to use just one brand. Some people like to use 2 brands or 3 brands, or whichever. I think it's whatever works for you. It's always good to use the professional grade because the pigment is better, the quality is better. But out of these two, it's really hard to say which one I prefer best. They all have their own little ones that I like. I would say my palette is almost like half and half, like from Daniel Smith and Windsor and Newton. So and it's all the artistic grade, the artist grade, so the higher grade. Okay, so I'm gonna start with doing the pine cones. So I'm not doing wet on wet because the paper, I find that if I do wet on wet with the black paper, it just absorbs a lot more of the paint, and then you don't really see as much of the color, and that's why I kind of use a lot of paint. Kind of just doing the little outsides here. Go shape it a bit more on this side, so it's maybe a little bit of an angle. Okay, that's about the size I want to do this pine cone for now. So for my branch, I'm gonna mix a little bit of Windsor sap green. It's permanent sap green. I love the sap green. It's beautiful. It is of a darker green, but because I find that wintry green is a little bit more of a darker color, so you could add either some blue, like either like a French Ultramarine, or what I actually like to add is a little bit of the Ultramarine violet, and I really like the two together. Of course, you don't add a lot because you don't want it to turn too dark. So I'm just gonna do like branch here, go like that, and from here I think I want to add a little bit here, and then one that comes, or perhaps one that comes over here. Such. And then the fun part is to do all these little pine needles. Have to make sure you hold your hands steady and you kind of just go for it. There we go. Just add a little bit more. Make them a bit longer. And as you can see, as I was saying, like as it dries, the paper absorbs a lot more of the pigment because of the dark color. So you want to make sure that you do have quite nice, generous paint on your brush. So don't be scared to be generous with it. And I use the edge of the brush. Don't worry about if there's like little gaps like this. You can just fill them in. That. And there we go. Little edges. We're probably gonna have to go over it one more time here, as you can see how it just absorbed right into the paper. So now we're gonna do the big branch. I don't know about you guys, but I love the smell of pine trees and Christmas, that Christmas smell. Just love it from the tree. Unfortunately, we can't have a real tree anymore, but I still love, it just reminds me of my childhood, which is always fun to remember. And we could just add a bit here too, since we did this part. And we can add a bit of green here. Just to sort of there we go. branch. And perhaps I'm thinking if I want to just add another branch somewhere, maybe a branch going this way. Let's see if we do that. How's that gonna look? We're just coming out a little bit here. It's a longer branch, of course. As I haven't really used this paper as much as I'm going along here, I just see the difference with working with this paper as opposed to the white even more, because with the white, the amount and the dark paint that I've been putting on here would show up so much. But I guess because it's absorbing so much pigment, it's not as pronounced. Let's make this branch a bit longer. Like that. Maybe this one here, let's give it a little extra branch right there. It is gorgeous. I'm super excited to work with this, just because of the purpose of wanting to do this sort of Christmassy theme. This is actually from Legion. That was the whole Stonehenge Legion watercolor black paper. They come in like loose sheets, or they come in blocks, and I did not buy the block first, although I do like the blocks. I use the blocks for pretty much anything I do. But I bought the leaf, sorry, not the leaves, the sheets, because I wanted to see what it was like to work with it. So see right here, there's a few little gaps. As it dries, you can see them better, so you can always just fill it in a bit more. Like that. And here. So it kind of gives it actually a little bit of a sparkly feel to it. I don't know if you guys can see, but right here, it's a bit of a sparkle. Well, maybe not. Cannot see it maybe, but it's quite interesting. It's cool. I like that. And I'm actually debating if I want to add a little bit more green. Maybe I'll try to do a bit of a contrast. So to the green that I mixed earlier, instead of making it so dark, maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of yellow, like a lemon yellow or something, and maybe just to accent it. Just add a little bit of an accent to it. Let's see, how's that gonna look? Not a lot, just a little bit. Of course it looks bright now because we did it's fresh. We'll see how it turns out. If it doesn't turn out, then that's okay. We tried. So you can tell it's really just to add a little bit of accent. I'm not going any crazy on it. I like what it's doing. I find that it also, on this paper, it dries quite fast as opposed to the white. Maybe just a bit here. See, like here where I already worked, it's almost like all dry already. Which usually, on white paper, it's a bit longer to dry. Just set that here. Okay. That just brings it up a bit more than what it was just all the dark. Actually just brought it up like that. Okay, so what I wanted to do, I was gonna put a little bit of like berries on there. So I already have some dark red mixed here. I've been mixing the, I have like a Daniel Smith Pomelo Red, which I mixed with a little bit of black, which is Mars Black from Windsor and Newton. So let's see, let's do a few here. It's not as dark as I wanted to. I'm just gonna add a bit more dark. And don't worry, with watercolor, the nice thing is that you can always go on top of it. So once it dries, which is not dry now, but once it dries, you can always do a second layer, a third layer, 20 layers if you want to. It's really up to you, and you can always go readjust it. I kind of like that too. Let's do another one here. Once again, with this paper, I find that I have to use a lot of pigment, and I don't do wet first and then the paint. I do the paint direct on here. And maybe let's put a couple here. Okay. It's a bit festive. So what I was thinking I wanted to do, I wanted to add a little bit of a sort of a snow effect to this. So a little bit on a pine cone, I wanted to add a bit of white to make it look like a bit of snow, or maybe a little bit of white on the branches. So let's see how that's gonna turn out if I do that. So usually I don't really use white for watercolor, but since I have this black paper, I do use a little bit of white. So let's just add a little bit of snow effect on here. Just want to dab a little bit here and there. I'm gonna let it dry, see how it looks. Once it dries, like that. There we go. Starts already looking. See already here, it's drying, and you don't even see it as much. So you're probably gonna have to do 2 layers of the white. And let's just add a bit here, a bit there. Really, see, I have too much on my paint, so I have too much on my brush here. I just want to put like a little bit here and there because I really just want to make it look as if it's just everywhere. And again, like I was saying, once it dries, it really absorbs the color. You can see some of the white here that's already all absorbed. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. I guess the nice thing about this is that it dries fast, so we don't have to wait for it to dry to do this video. Okay, now the only thing I'm debating is if I want to add a candle in here or not. Kind of like what we have so far. Perhaps what I'll do is I'll add another pine cone over here, and I will see how that turns out. I think the pine cone just looks kind of a bit lonely there, so let's just add one more. I feel like I want to kind of make it this angle here for this pine cone. like that. As opposed to being from the top, the view from the top, I think I liked it a little bit on the corner there. So here I wanted to add a little bit more of the red, just to blemish it a bit more. Since it's dried. And here. And here, those are quite dry, but so I feel that I want to do another branch right here. I think I'm gonna do that. I feel like it's needing a little bit more work on this branch here. So let's just do a branch right here, coming out from here. Like this. Perhaps like that. And just so it doesn't look like it's kind of floating in the air somehow. And it's okay to change your mind at the last minute. It's part of being artistic and creative. I just kind of love how it makes it look so glossy, like almost shiny. And there's nothing shiny in the pigment that I'm using, so just gonna make it come out a bit more so it doesn't look so lonely there. Yeah, I think I like this better, like that. So we're gonna wait for this to dry, and I'm gonna add a little bit of the lighter green and some of the white. And then here, since the pine cone is already dry, we're gonna add some of the white. Kind of just going here and there. For this. And once again, it dried pretty fast. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more. It's actually drying super fast. Look how fast it absorbed in there. So generous on a paint. On the pigments, you have to add quite a bit. Like such here. Okay, and in the meantime, see this already dried. So we're gonna add a little the light green, a touch of the light green. There we go. And then we're just gonna add a little bit of white for the snow. Okay, so I think that I actually want to do this candle here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a sort of a thicker candle from here, and we're not gonna see the top of the candle. So we're just gonna make it come here, and I will see if it's not good. Then, like I said, we'll put it aside and move on to the next. And I'm not, usually I would do more wet. Usually when I do things like this, I would have done the candle first, and then I would have put the branches around it. But because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, this is how this turned out for now. And we'll see how it goes. Again, like I said, it's always good to experiment because that's how we learn. And I'm learning with you guys as I'm going because this paper is new to me and it does what it wants to, which is great. I feel that it's gonna be too light. But I don't want to make it too dark white either because everything else on here is kind of light as well. Like, you know, the branches and stuff, they're not very pronounced. They're nice blended in the paper. So yeah, so this looks like it's gonna turn into a little bit of a gray. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit more of the white to it. Okay, so I added a little bit of water here. So I'm adding the color. I'm gonna add a little bit of water, tiny touch of water, just to make it. So since I kind of want this to blend together here, like this, and let's do a little touch of gold here, see how that's gonna go. I don't want it too a strong gold. Just gonna add a little bit of water just to blend it in a bit more. As you can tell, it's very generous gold. I added so little. Right now to me it looks very muddy, but that's because it just probably needs to dry. Yeah. There we go. We will let it dry and see how that looks afterwards. Just adding a bit of texture in it. And it's enough blending, because if not it becomes too muddy and then it doesn't look very nice. So we'll see how it looks when it's dry, and what I'll do is I will actually put this post up, and I'll put a post up of the finishing product, of the final product once this dries, and we'll see how it looks. If you haven't tried this paper, I would say definitely give it a try. Hope you enjoyed it, and I wish you all a wonderful day. Bye.